Hey guys, welcome back. We had a good Monday in the market. Long weekend. Happy Easter. I was very confused just then. We did a video this morning talking about GME's share offering, and I'm like, I've done this before. That felt really weird for a second. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, GME's down 3% today. Got the last 10 minutes here. Trading hour, see what happens with it. But it's looking good still. It's even kind of holding up on some of the moving averages. They didn't announce anything new, honestly. They amended the news this morning was that they amended basically a paperwork or whatever, prospectus or whatever it's called, from December. And in December they announced that they wanted to basically have the option to offer shares, 3.5 million shares, or up to $1 million. And they announced that in December. And then since December, a lot of stuff has changed with GME, not least of which the stock price. And now they value their company much, much greater. So they didn't do anything new. They just said, remember that filing from December? And by the way, they haven't offered shares since they've had the option since December. They, through all the volatility, through 500 share price, they never offered shares. They don't need to. They don't have debt. They have a bunch of cash. They have 600 million, I think, in cash. So it's just, they just want to ride the wave. They want to get just a little piece of this short squeeze pie, I think. And what they say is that they can either sell, offer 3.5 more million shares onto the market, or offer the equivalent of 1 billion in cash, basically selling enough shares to equal 1 billion. So that doesn't mean they've done it now, and that doesn't mean that they're even going to do it, but it's giving them, it's very bullish, because it'd be great if GameStop had more cash to do more stuff with. And if you do the math, it's like $280 share price. So if they offered shares, say, to basically put $1 million or $1 billion into their bank account, and they only wanted to offer 3.5 million, that would be at a share price of $280, which is up here. So that's basically where they said that it's worth it for them. And that's kind of a floor that they gave, really, to where they think the value of the stock should be at this point, and in a lot of different ways. But I don't think they're going to start offering shares until this thing starts squeezing and shorts start covering, and we even know how many shares are out there. They probably know, or at least have a better handle than I do, and probably than most. But yeah, if 3.5 million shares is nothing, if there's no naked shorts or anything like that, it's still only like 5% of the float. It's nothing. But I think the naked shorts, all the options, shenanigans, the shorting ETFs, whatever, they're 3, 4, 5 times the float they have to already buy back. So once they've bought back the float 5 times, which is 70 million times 5, once they bought all that back, then GME can sell shares on the last 70 million, or offer more shares on the last 70 million to recoup 1 billion. So it's bullish. It's good news. GME basically is going to have another billion, and if they sell, if they sell 100,000 once it's at $1,000 a strike price, if it gets up there, or they wait until it gets to $5,000 strike price, or 10,000 or 100,000 during a squeeze, they're just going to have to offer less shares, and they want to ride some of the squeeze, just like they were saying in their earnings report, even how they're expecting a squeeze, and that if you're shorting this company, you're gonna have to pay a premium. So yeah, I'm bullish as ever on GME, even more so now because they amended something, and now that they're not going to they put a floor on it, basically, of they want $1 billion or 3.5 million shares, which is nothing. They could have said we want to offer 50 million shares, or we want $10 billion, or, you know, they really believe in the company basically. And so yeah, it's good news. And along with that news, they were mentioning their sales are up like 18% year over year, and that's alongside closing like 15% of their stores. So fewer stores, and they're still making more money than they were last year through a pandemic. So it's looking good for GameStop. As far as moving averages, it's kind of holding up here on the hourly. The MACD's kind of crossed over, but it's pretty flat. The 9 is just kind of trying to bounce off this 180. We're still holding above this range from back here, so that's all good. I still have some exposure. I gotta be careful. Can't get too much exposure until I see price action. So I did get a little bit today. I actually bought some more shares today. I closed out of what did we do? Order history. Today's orders, filled orders. We closed out of FRSX. I'm still bullish on it. I shouldn't have capital, and I want to put more into GME. I was down on this, maybe $350. Closed out of those shares, and then bought one more share of GME at 177, and then two more at 179. So brought our average cost up here, or up on this account at least. So now our average cost on this account is 147. Still have our shares over here. We've got 20 shares over here. I also sold out of something on here. What did we do? Activity. There. Sold the SLGG on here. We're down on, well, no, actually we're still up on that. I wanted to sell it. Just kind of trying to build a cash position if something crazy happens and I need cash to use to either buy in to make money with, or just keep from losing on too much exposure to a market that I'm not too confident on, other than GameStop really. But yeah, to show you what premium has done today. Remember, we had these 435 calls that expire this Friday. We got these last week, and they haven't actually lost a whole lot of premium, to be honest. They're only down 48%, and to go over a 3-day weekend, and for GME to be down 3% today, it's actually pretty good that these are holding up, and that just means that there's a huge spread on that actually. Wow, 9 cents. Okay, so they're not quite as, that's a big spread, 9 cents to 80 cents. So it's not as great as I thought, but it's still holding up somewhat for the ask to be at 80 cents. And we can show on here the chart for this specific option. It has a chart just like a stock would, because the options market it's actually separate from the stock market. It's a derivative stock market. So here you go. It's as cheap as it's ever been. We bought it last week. Let's see, that would have been Thursday, so that'd been the first. We bought it right here for about this price, and it's held up pretty well. I mean, given this week, if GME stays flat, it's going to lose value quick, the rest of the value. But if we have any spikes, this thing's going to gain in value. And I wanted naked exposure, so basically these are unlimited profit potential, because you never know how high it can go. So infinite is up here. These will be worth, actually, this is kind of interesting. This is speculative, you don't know. It depends on how fast the price is moving, that sort of thing. But if the share price is at $441, is at expiration, that's not, see, I don't know how, yeah, then these would theoretically be worth $14,000, just one of these. So yeah, that doesn't, I don't know how that can account for volatility, IV and stuff. But anyways, that's that call. And then we've got this put credit spread. Is a nice safe play. However, it does tie up capital, so I will draw on this. I guess I only have one left, so there's not much drawing. It's a real small play, $250. Basically, GME has to close above 180 by this Friday. It doesn't give me exposure to a ton of upside, but it does give me exposure to if GME kind of just stays and consolidates. Selling premium is a great thing to do, because the IV is still super high on the stock. It's still 250, 300 on these options. So selling premiums legit, it just ties up capital. So this, if it starts to run, I'll probably close out of this and get more exposure on the naked call side, or even a debit spread. I did open up one debit spread today. I was gonna just maybe scale into it, see how it went, and I'm glad I just did one. It's good to scale. So this one I'll show you, cost $84. Upside max profit on it's $2,100. It's a 257, 280 all debit spread that expires this week. So if GME kind of keeps this, if it just kind of starts ramping up this week, but not crazy, you know, we start ramping up and it comes up here to 280. I kind of thought this area right here that might have some resistance. We might, if it doesn't squeeze this week, it might have some resistance here at this 280 level by Friday. But it could also just stay flat. In that case, that put credit spread will do well, and this other one will expire worthless. But it's a nice little play if it does work. So it costs $84 and the upside's $2,100, and it's not terribly unreasonable to think GME won't be over 280 by the end of the week, even without a squeeze, just from it running up. A lot of new DTCC regulations, a lot of different stuff that makes me more bullish on GME. Crazy. But it's just knowing when it's going to happen, when things are going to be implemented. They don't say when this is going to go through or this is going to happen. We do know there's an annual shareholder meeting in June. I think June 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there, and you have 60 days before then to recall your shares. And so I think that's tomorrow or today that you could potentially start recalling shares. That could be a catalyst. There's all sorts of different catalysts, all these new DTCC rules and these other governing power acronym name rules coming into play. I don't even know what they are. Can't remember the name of them, but yeah, so I don't know the timing on it, so I'm not getting a ton of exposure for a certain date, just kind of wanting to have a little exposure each week, and then as we see something happen, then I will put some more bait out there. Problem is with this account, I don't have any buying power, so I need to, well, I can, so I can actually, because I've got this Corsair. That's what's nice about this credit spread, which I've never really done. There's a longer term credit spread. I've got 46 days on it. And as long as it stays above this price, it's going to gain value pretty much. So max gain on it's 1400, but I'd have to wait that whole time. And we are up already. We're up 55% on it. So if I needed the cash right now, I can close out this whole thing and get back what, 825? I think. Yeah. So we got cash there. I guess I also could sell these shares for a loss if I needed to get exposure. So that's kind of my plan for GME. Yeah. RKT, our other one I'm bullish on and kind of have some exposure to. This thing's selling off. I read some bearish DD on it. Just thinking about the housing situation right now and how there could be a lot of defaults and how that would affect RKT. I don't know, maybe I understood the DD wrong, but I think that's what it was kind of mentioning, and how RKT won't do well with that. I can see that and I can understand that, and that's why I'm not all in on RKT or any stock for that matter. There's always something that could happen that would make it go down, so I'm still very bullish on it. The housing market right now, there's not much inventory, which is kind of bad for, I guess, a company that makes money on transactions. However, there was a lot of transactions during the refinance time when it was so cheap, when the mortgage rates were so cheap. They've come up a little bit now, but they're still very cheap in the 3 percentile. So, yeah. So I guess the cost of houses, wouldn't really benefit too much from a lender, I guess. Mortgage broker. I don't know. I'm still bullish on RKT, even if I'm always counting on American housing, even through a crash. That could always come back. Land, you cannot replace land. So yeah, bullish on RKT. It's coming down. I mean, it had this crazy day the other day. I think this was a little, or no, maybe it was a call sweep. I read somewhere this was maybe just a call sweep going on, or it could be some little short covering. Shorts are starting to cover and then just got smacked down. I'm not sure about this, but it has these weird pumps. So there was that, and then there's this one way back here, of course, when everything was running up. But we're still above on RKT. We're still kind of above these resistance levels back here as a support. So resistance kind of became the new support in this 22 range, and it's looking good. Oh, market closed 5 minutes ago. RKT had a little bump in the end there and some volume, and now it's pretty flat after hours. So is going to crush premium the more we consolidate, but that's good. We'll build a nice floor, and just like we built this floor here, and then it had this, we're building the floor here. I mean, it's a little more volatile just because it's at a higher price, but honestly, this is looking similar to this in some ways. And we didn't have this before it, but we did have a little bump before it. Now it's getting tight on the daily chart here. MACD maybe needs to come down a little bit more. A little more tight consolidation as far as technical goes, but there's so many different catalysts. Might totally go different. Long term today looks good, up 243 bucks. Tesla, they had their earnings, not their earnings, their numbers on how many cars they sold. They crushed it. I am a Tesla bull, and I don't have capital right now to mess with it, but I do want to open up a debit spread of some sort. We had that put credit spread. I closed it to get more capital back, but I'd like maybe a debit spread on this thing for for the next, I don't know, for 5 months time, thinking it's going to be back up in the 900 to 1,000 range. That's kind of my thought on Tesla. What else on our long term? IRM's up a little bit here in the end. Square, Corsair. Did we talk about Corsair? Yeah, we did talk about Corsair. No, we didn't. This one I think found a bottom. It's passed over the 9's, passed over the 180. Today was a little bit down day, but yesterday was pretty big on the upside. And on the daily chart, it's looking good. We've now crossed over, if you see, the green candles above the 9 moving average. MACD's crossed over down here. The RSI is in a fine spot. So I think we finally found a bottom here. We'll see if we kind of need to break this resistance though to confirm an upside from here. Not that we're just consolidating in this range. So we see what happens once it gets up to this 35.58 area. See if Corsair keeps going. We've got those calls to cover earnings, which, yeah, these things they're just getting wrecked. They're getting so cheap. It's awesome. They're down 88%. But then I got some more, or no, this is the put credit spread. That's right. Then we've got some more though for the 50 calls, and these are only down 31%. So we'll see. I feel like this thing is just gonna spike at some point like crazy, but it hasn't yet. So hard to know. After hours GME is looking good. Long term, what else we got? KO is up a bit. HD is like all-time highs still again, I think. Yeah, this thing's on a tear. Wish I had a bigger position in this. It's a little late now. I don't have the capital either to do that. Our Viri play, trying to get out of this thing, up 10% today, which is nice, but we're still down like 60% on that thing. IMMR down a little bit today, and UWMC. I sold a covered call on Airbnb right here, a 192.5 call. It's up 20%. I sold at the beginning of the day. So seems like at the beginning of the day, you're going to pay the most premium for stuff. So that's the best time to sell premium and the worst time to buy it. And like the middle of the day, unless there's news, it seems like it's the most settled down, or even the end of the day, to be buying premium. So I just see it on here. It looks like on the daily chart, it kind of hit a top, and then this is kind of a lower high. But then this low is higher than this low, so it might just be kind of tightening up in this range. Yeah. I could be a little aggressive on this call. I can roll it up if I need to, but yeah, we'll see. I feel like not looking super bullish at this point. On the hourly chart especially, because it hit this triple top. This is kind of what I was seeing, and then it wasn't able to break the long moving average, the 180 moving average. It's kind of just held below it. Now the MACD is kind of crossing over, and we're getting some red candles, and yeah, doesn't look like it's gonna keep going up. So 192.5 is right here, so it's not a whole lot of headroom, but should be right on that one. Got this covered call on UWMC. Don't have one on Rocket for a few reasons. I feel like it's kind of at a bottom and it might spike, and I don't have one on Corsair either. Let's see, because I think Corsair is in a good spot, and I think it's gonna keep going up. So don't have one on there, but we're still getting some premium on here. This UWMC is a few bucks. We got 20 bucks on that one, and then of course our Airbnb on here. This is what is this one worth? It's pretty nice. This one 182. What is it? 275. That expires on Friday. Try not to squeeze out too much. try and like over squeeze stuff, kind of get greedy, and then sometimes things mess up. But should be able to roll that over on TD, Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. I picked a bad time to get into AFRM, Affirm. I was trying to time it too much, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to go with the momentum. I was trying to time it, looking at the charts, thinking, okay, there's a bottom, it's consolidating. It was like right here. Like, all right, it's ready to go. And it just needed a little more confirmation. Came in here, now it's dropped down even further, and I don't really see a floor yet. This could be it right here. We'll see if when it comes back down here, if it holds that support, then maybe. But yeah, I'm not too stoked on that position right now. Roblox shot up today a bunch. So that is nice. I'm trying to have this Thinkorswim account be just a long-term kind of free share account, excluding GME because that's kind of its own category. But Roblox was up a lot today, like 7%, and it's looking good on the hourly. MACD's crossed over. Nice little bull flags here. New high from this resistance right here. Nice and steady along the 9 moving average. On the daily, it's an IPO, so it's pretty recent, but we've got green candle over the 9 moving average. Woo! Long video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. Follow us on Twitter at HappyMoneyYT, and we will see you tomorrow. If you made it this far, comment down below. DFV. Peace out.